Welcome to TA TV, where TAs go to learn.
In today's episode, we'll be talking about the first day of class.
So, Brandon, why don't you start us off by explaining why the first day is so important?
The first day of class, it's important to set expectations for what you expect of your students, and even ask your students what they expect from you, both what kind of course material that they would like to see covered that may or may not be on the course syllabus or what you've prepared for the semester. Set out learning objectives. It's always important, both at the beginning of the course and each and every lecture, to give out what your learning objectives are for that day, so the students know what they're prepared for both the semester and the lecture.
Continuing those learning objectives throughout the semester is a great idea.
Definitely. Bryce, what else can TAs do on the first day?
Another key thing on the first day, in my opinion, is not just to go over the syllabus and end the class. It's very appropriate to start a lesson as if it was just another day. That way students can really see that course structure from day one and don't just have to have you tell them what it's going to be like.
Yes, a lot of students really are trying out your class on the first day.
Right, so giving them an overview helps them see if they actually belong in the class for the whole semester.
Catherine, what else would you advise that TAs review on the first day?
I would say especially in the lab environment where we do a lot of group work, I talk specifically about what constitutes plagiarism in a group environment, because it's very easy to have students start to blur that line, especially as the semester goes on. So for me, that's a really important thing on the first day, to just make those expectations clear and make those policies and guidelines clear before it's ever an issue, and that gives me a chance to kind of address what plagiarism is in the lab without having to target any one student.
And there are other policies you can choose to focus on as well, from discipline to communication to grading.
Really. Beth, what do you choose to focus on the first day?
One thing to do on the first day of class, and I learned this past semester, I spent a lot of time this past semester talking about the student code of conduct and saying how highly I value their work, and how their work matters to me, and how I'm going to spend a lot of time looking at their work, and they're going to spend a lot of time in their work, and I want them to know that I trust their work as being good and valid, and I just spent a lot of time talking about the integrity of their work and having pride in your work. I had several students come to me after class and say, thank you for spending time on that, because everyone just blazes over that. Oh, go look at the student code of conduct if you're curious about how we deal with plagiarism. Well, no one's ever told them, this is why we care, because you put time into this. This is valuable. I want your time to matter. And I was really surprised by that comment from students. I'm definitely going to do that in the future, and make them know how highly I value their time. And I think that helped this past semester. When they're working so hard on this really big project, it's taking a lot of time, they know that it matters, and that them putting good work and good quality work in is also good for them in the long run. So that's one thing I think I'm going to keep doing, because it was really successful this past semester.
Beth, that is a great way to let students know that their work really matters in your course.
And making sure they know that on the first day. Natalie, what else do you make sure to tell them on day one?
So making sure that they know that they can come and approach you, but really making sure that you don't appear to be choosing favorites. So when you talk to students before class, don't always talk to the same student before class. If you do have business to talk about with them, so maybe you are in a different class with them, or they're on your research team, or you are just familiar with them outside of class, make sure that you leave those sorts of things for the end of class, or not within the actual class period, so that your students don't feel like that student's going to get a different grade because of that.
Thanks, Natalie. Now, Sophia, to give new TAs some reassurance that they can do it, could you walk us through a typical first day of class?
First of all, I introduce myself. I tell students that I am a graduate student. I tell them about my research interests and the year that I am in the program. Then I go over the syllabus very, very explicitly and very clearly, because the first time I started teaching, I didn't do this. I didn't go over the syllabus, and I realized that during the semester there were students who were confused or made their own assumptions about my policies, and this can create many problems during the semester. If the students do not know your expectations and your policies, this can create many problems. So I go over the syllabus extensively, then I ask for my students to tell me their names. This sometimes is a little bit awkward because I may misspell some of their names, but I do this because I'm really trying to learn their names and treat every student as an individual instead of student A or student B or student C. So I feel that this is something that they like it. And then based on the time left, I usually talk about the content of the course. I give a very brief introduction of the ideas that we're going to discuss in the course throughout the semester. That's it.
First day can be daunting, but follow these TA strategies. Talk about policies, set a good tone, and you'll be just fine.